So you just bought an RV and you're ready to hit the road. Freedom, adventure, the open highway calling your name. I've been there, and let me tell you, there's nothing quite like that first big trip. But before you pull out of the driveway, let's pump the brakes for a second. Every new RV owner makes mistakes, and I've either made them myself or watched plenty of others learn the hard way. In this video, I'm breaking down 10 of the most common slip-ups new RV owners make, and more importantly, how you can avoid them. If you want to keep your RV running smooth, your trip stress-free, and your wallet intact, stick around. Let's jump right in. Overpacking is probably the most common rookie mistake in RV life. When I got started, I treated the RV like it was a rolling storage unit. Boxes of tools, way too many clothes, back up everything. What I didn't consider was how all that extra weight affects the drive. An overloaded RV puts serious strain on your suspension, brakes, and tires. It can even push you over your legal weight limit, which is a big deal for safety and insurance reasons. Most RVs have a gross vehicle weight rating, GVW, and you should always know what yours is. Stick to it. The more weight you carry, the worse your fuel economy, and the more wear and tear you'll put on your rig. A good rule of thumb is to pack for the trip you're actually taking, not for every possible scenario. Rotate gear seasonally and keep a basic toolkit instead of a full garage. Before hitting the road, weigh your loaded RV at a CAT scale and adjust as needed. It's better to travel a little lighter and pick up what you need along the way than to haul your entire life everywhere you go. Less weight, less stress, better travel. Neglecting tire maintenance is one mistake that can quickly ruin a road trip, or worse. Tires take a beating under an RV's weight, especially when fully loaded. One weak spot in a sidewall or a bit of low pressure, and boom, you've got a blowout in the middle of nowhere. I've seen it happen, and it's not just inconvenient, it's expensive and dangerous. The key is routine. Before every drive, I inspect each tire for cracks, bulges, or worn tread. I also check pressure using a reliable digital gauge and make sure it matches the manufacturer's specs. Even when an RV sits for a while, tires can lose air, and that low pressure puts extra stress on them during travel. Don't rely on visual checks. Tires can look fine and still be low. I also highly recommend investing in a tire pressure monitoring system. It gives real-time alerts for pressure and temperature changes, which could save you from a major blowout. If you don't already carry a portable air compressor, now's the time to get one. It's an easy way to stay on top of your tires no matter where you're camped. Good tires equals safe travels, plain and simple. Your RV has two electrical systems, the 12-volt DC system and the 120-volt AC system. And if you don't know the difference, you're setting yourself up for a lot of confusion. Or worse, some very costly mistakes. I learned this the hard way when I tried running a coffee maker off battery power and couldn't figure out why the whole thing shut down. The 12-volt system runs your lights, water pump, and fans when you're not plugged into shore power. It pulls energy from your batteries. The 120-volt system powers your outlets and bigger appliances like the microwave, air conditioner, or a regular fridge. That power comes from plugging in, running a generator, or using an inverter, if you've got one. What trips people up is trying to use AC appliances when you're off-grid, without realizing they won't work unless there's an inverter or generator running. Also, if you overload your system or plug into the wrong shore power, you can fry your circuits. The fix is learning your rig's system inside and out. Get a multimeter, learn to read your control panel, and label things if needed. Know your battery levels and stay aware of what draws the most power. Knowledge here really is power. The black tank. Every new RV owner's least favorite topic, but if you mess this up, you'll never forget it. I've met plenty of folks who had their first trip ruined because they didn't know how to handle their black tank properly. Backups, smells, leaks, it's all preventable, but only if you take the time to learn how it works. First off, never leave your black tank valve open when you're hooked up. That lets all the liquids drain out, leaving the solids behind. Eventually, that hardens into a mess known as the dreaded poop pyramid. And trust me, you don't want to deal with that. Only dump your black tank when it's at least 2/3 full. That way, you get a good flush every time. After dumping, always rinse the tank using your built-in flush system if you've got one, or a dedicated flush hose. Then close the valve and add a few gallons of water back into the tank along with a tank treatment to break down waste and control odors. This process takes a little time but saves you a world of pain later. Handle your black tank right, and you'll avoid one of RV life's biggest nightmares. Relying on a regular car GPS or a phone app like Google Maps can get you into some serious trouble when you're driving an RV. These apps are designed for passenger vehicles, not for something that's over 10 feet tall and possibly 40 feet long. I learned this the hard way when I ended up on a winding back road in the mountains that looked fine on the map, but felt like a goat trail in real life. Narrow lanes, low branches, and sharp turns. None of that shows up on standard GPS systems. What you need is an RV-specific GPS or app that lets you input your rig's height, weight, and length. These systems will route you around low clearances, tight roads, and even avoid areas with propane restrictions. There are also apps like RV Life or Copilot that are built for this kind of travel, and they're worth every penny. It's not just about convenience, it's about safety. Before every trip, I check the route on my RV GPS and also review it manually just to be sure. You don't want to get stuck under a 12-foot bridge when your RV is 13 feet tall. Trust me, that's the kind of mistake you only make once. Leveling your RV isn't just about comfort. It's essential for safety and function. When your rig is off balance, doors swing open, slides struggle, tanks drain unevenly, and appliances like your fridge can malfunction. A fridge that runs on propane, for example, needs to be close to level to work safely. But I'll admit, when I first started, I thought close enough was good enough. It wasn't. Bad leveling can also put stress on your RV's frame and lead to long-term issues. If you're in a motorhome with auto-leveling jacks, learn to use them properly. If you've got manual stabilizers, get used to using leveling blocks or ramps and a bubble level. I use a small level on the floor inside to get things dialed in. Take your time when you park, check the surface. Some spots are so uneven it's not worth staying. Leveling isn't glamorous, but once you've spent a night with your head downhill or your shower refusing to drain, you'll never skip it again. Good leveling is the start of every great campsite. Back in the day, you could roll into most campgrounds and find a spot without much hassle. Not anymore. RV travel has exploded in popularity, and that means full campgrounds, especially during peak season or weekends. I've seen new RV owners roll in late thinking they'll just grab a site, only to find everything booked solid. Then you're either boondocking on a roadside pullout or driving miles to the next option. The fix? Plan ahead. I use apps and websites like Campendium, Reserve America, and Recreation.gov to scout out sites and book in advance. If you're traveling during holidays, book as early as possible. Some places fill up 6 months out. Of course, sometimes you want to wing it. In that case, have a backup plan. Keep a list of first-come, first-served campgrounds, BLM land, or truck stops where overnight parking is allowed. But for the most part, locking down reservations is just smart travel. It gives you peace of mind, better site choices, and saves you from the stress of scrambling at the end of a long driving day. Out of sight, out of mind. That's how most people treat their RV roof. But the roof is one of the most critical parts of your rig, and ignoring it can lead to serious water damage. Most RVs have rubber or fiberglass roofs sealed with caulking or lap sealant. And over time, that stuff dries out, cracks, or separates from the surface. One small leak can soak insulation, rot wood framing, and turn into a costly repair. When I bought my first RV, I didn't even think to get up on the roof. That was a mistake. Now, I inspect it regularly, at least every couple of months, and especially after a big storm. I look for cracks around vents, skylights, antennas, and the edges where water can sneak in. If I find something, I reseal it immediately with the right kind of sealant for my roof type. It's a simple job that takes maybe 30 minutes, but it can save you thousands in the long run. Water damage is sneaky. It starts slow and spreads quietly. Stay on top of your roof seals, and you'll avoid one of the most common long-term problems in RV ownership. Driving an RV is not like driving a car, and thinking otherwise is a quick way to get in trouble. I've seen brand new owners take their rigs straight from the dealer to the highway without ever practicing. The result? Missed turns, blown tires, overcorrecting, and plenty of curb strikes. These things are big, heavy, and they handle completely different than what you're used to. Before your first big trip, take time to practice. Find an empty parking lot and work on turns, braking distance, and backing up. Practice using your mirrors, and if you have a spotter, learn how to communicate clearly. A good set of backup cameras helps, but you still need to understand your rig's blind spots. Also, drive at a relaxed pace. RV travel isn't about speed. Stay in the right lane, give yourself extra space, and don't let impatient drivers push you. The more confident you are behind the wheel, the safer and more enjoyable your trips will be. Experience builds over time, but that first few hours of practice can make a world of difference. You don't want to be learning how to back into a tight site with a full audience at a packed campground. A lot of new RV owners assume that every campground will have full hookups, water, electric, and sewer. The truth is, that's not always the case. Plenty of state parks, national forests, and even some private campgrounds only offer partial hookups, or none at all. If you roll in expecting to plug in and fill up like you're at home, you might be in for a surprise. The solution is to be flexible and prepared. Learn how to manage your tanks and power wisely. Conserve water when you're not on city supply. Short showers, minimal dishwashing, and turning off the tap while brushing your teeth go a long way. Get familiar with how long your batteries last and how much power your appliances draw. I also keep a portable waste tank and extra freshwater jugs on board just in case. Solar panels and a generator help when you're off-grid, and knowing how to boondock comfortably opens up a whole world of beautiful places most folks never stay. Expecting full hookups every time limits your options. Once you learn to handle dry camping, you'll have more freedom and a lot more confidence in your setup. It's a skill every RV owner should master. That's it. 10 of the biggest mistakes new RV owners make and how to dodge them like a pro. If you're just getting started, don't sweat it. We've all been there, and every mile teaches you something new. Hit that subscribe button if you found this helpful, and I'll see you out on the road. Safe travels, friends.